welcome or welcome back to my channel. Also, hello from Bones. He just has to be on my lap right now. So here we are. So today's video, I just wanted to touch base on where I'm at with my makeup collection. I haven't been like, oh, Bones, oh God, your nails. Okay, buddy, you're going out there. Oh, jeez, guys, sit. What was I saying before I was so rudely interrupted by this very sweet angel baby? So I've been kind of bored with makeup, and not that I don't think that there's anything like nice that's been released per se, but there's nothing that's been released in the past, I don't know, like 4 months or so that I feel like I have to run out and buy and review and try, or feel like it's going to be anything different or more pristine than the makeup I already own. So I go through these phases where I'm like bored with makeup, and I feel like that comes from a place of like owning a lot of makeup and just like watching videos, watching reviews, and you know, their trends go in cycles, so I feel like the whole clean girl aesthetic, like the glowy, slicked bun sort of shit that's happening right now, is kind of coming to an end, and we're divvying into another trend, which I don't really know what that is, but I feel like more glam is resurfacing, which is cool. Like, that's fine. So yeah, I've just been not really looking at makeup or purchasing anything in the past few months, which is great. Like, I don't, realistically, I'm one lady. I don't need as much makeup as I have, but makeup is one of those things where it's a form of self-care for me. It's like the one moment in my day that's 1000% just for me. It's artistic. It's, you know, like it's a ritual. It's like part of my morning routine. And whether it's just putting on concealer and lip gloss, like that's for me and it's not for anybody else. I've scoured through Sephora and I've scoured through Ulta, and I've looked at some brands' websites that I'm like, I've caught my eye a little bit, but like for some reason I just can't take the plunge and like buy those products that I'm interested in. And I do that when I'm bored with makeup, with how I've been doing my makeup that I own, etc. I feel like I'm not keeping up. I have some sort of like makeup FOMO, but I don't really understand what the FOMO is for, if that makes sense. So I've just decided that I'm gonna try, and I don't really like project panning things because I feel like it puts an unrealistic pressure on myself to actually pan something because you feel like you failed a project of panning. Yeah, this isn't necessarily like the announcement of like a no buy or a project pan, but it's more so like just talking about what I've been using makeup wise a lot lately and how I've been enjoying it. And yeah, it's not really like an everyday routine, and I'm not like sticking to these products all the time, but it's more so like I have a lot of makeup in my collection that I want to use up that is aging. Like some of these are like maybe approaching a couple years old, and I barely have a dent in them. And I'm one of those people where when a makeup product looks used, like I deem it a good makeup product, and I like that feeling. I like looking at something, I'm like, yeah, I use this so much, this is really good. And like, even when I watch others' videos where they hold up like a blush that's just like crazy looking and just like panned or like just messy, I see it and I'm like, I want to try that because it looks so loved, and it's so like somebody took the time to like dedicate themselves to using that one product. So these are the products that I really want to either use up or make a big dent in the next few months before all of the spring launches and summer launches and stuff like that, because they're aging and they're really good makeup products and I just want to use them up. It was an ice storm, so I wasn't actually expecting to film today. So I have all of my base on, but I'll apply my eyes for you. So starting with like priming, like prepping my skin for my makeup. It's winter time, so it's cold, and my skin, I don't have dry skin, but my skin, it does lean more dry during the winter time, as does most people's. So I do look for a little extra like quench of moisture. And something I've been doing when I don't want like a full on like glossy gloss, And it also depends on like what products I'm pairing with each other. But this base I have on currently, I find that it looks really beautiful, and I just like the way they look all paired together. So this is kind of like a current makeup bag video as well. Priming, I have my Embryolisse Lait-Creme Concentrate, and as you see, this is very loved. This is like the full size, and I'm on my way to emptying this. I don't know how many I've gone through, you know, in my makeup career, but this is something I always have on hand. And what's nice is that they make a fragrance-free one, so if you're sensitive to fragrance, you can get that. And then so I take about like a dime size of that in my palm, and then a pump of my Auric Glow Lust in the shade Selenite, and I just put that all over my face, and I let that sink in. And then I do my brows. Something I always come back to when I'm feeling bored with makeup is I give more attention to my eyebrows. So if you're new here, then you know I don't really pay a lot of attention to the old eyebrows. I'm perfectly fine with my eyebrows. Like sometimes I use like a clear gel. But you know, I like the shape and the fullness. Like I go through phases, and so currently my phase is I want them sculpted, and this has made me excited to do my makeup again. And so currently I only have the Glossier clear boy brow in, and I just have sculpted around with my base product, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But sometimes if I want them to be a little bit more filled in and bold, I have been going in, I have this mini one. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Definer in the shade Soft Brown. It's not my favorite, you know, like I feel like, you know, an eyebrow product is either good or it's not, like there's no in between, you know, so it's like, it's good, but it's just, I think it's the color. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of this, how do I put it here? You kind of gotta warm it up. It's not warm, it's a neutral, but I do have black eyebrows. Like my hair is a really dark brown, it's almost black. And so my eyelashes and my eyebrows are just, they're black. And so I like to take something that's a little bit lighter than my eyebrows, but also lean kind of cool, so it creates a little bit more dimension and like a natural shadow and fullness. And so I find that this pulls a little bit warm for my liking, but not so much that I feel like it just doesn't match, you know, my natural appearance, if you will. So if I want to have it a little bit more sculpted and a little bit more full looking than it is now, then that's what I use. And so I think that's a really good tip for if you're feeling bored with your routine. Just like focus on something that you normally don't focus on, and try and find new avenues of creativity, and, you know, put it into your little morning ritual or your makeup regiment. So I've been focusing a lot on making my eyebrows look not quite snatched, but almost snatched. Next, this is getting old. This is the Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit. Like, I've used a good amount of this. Do I have more? Yeah, I do. I mean, comparatively, like, I've used a good amount of this. And there's no smell, there's nothing wrong with it, but it is like a clean beauty brand, and so I'm not really sure when it will go off. And this, if you don't know, now you know. It's expensive. It's very expensive, and I want to get my money's worth, and so I've been really focusing on that Westman Atelier product, and I am wearing it today. I've been doing this contour technique where I take it down, because I do have a more kind of round, it's in between round and oval, you know? And so when you have a bit more of like a broader cheek and you want to look more chiseled without it just looking strange, a good way is to take it slanted down and then vertically, so you're making a kind of like a weird L. So it's kind of like you're drawing a skeleton. And so there's different ways to contour your face for different effects, obviously. And yeah, I find that placement works best for me, and I really like the effect. And so I take that there along my forehead and on my eyelids and down my nose as well, and it's just because it's just warm enough that it doesn't overly chisel my face, and also adds a little bit of warmth that I need in these winter months. So yeah, I have been really digging into this puppy. Blush. This is the Rose Ink Cheek and Lip color. What? Lip and Cheek color. That's just the name of it. It's the Rose Ink Cream Blush. I have this in the shade Daylily, and this is actually the second oldest in my collection. I also have the shade Foxglove, which is like the oldest, but I like that more in the summertime. I really do. And so this one is a little bit more of like the more taupey version of that, and so I like it a lot more in the winter time when I'm going for more like rosy, cooler tones to make my face look a little bit more alive. And so, you know, there's no scent, it's not performing badly, but I don't want it to go bad, basically is what I'm saying. I want to make a bigger dent than there already is in this and really get my money's worth, because I really love this product and I would hate for it to go bad and not be able to use it at all. So I just really want to dedicate a lot of use to this product. And I have just a little tiny bit on today because I was originally going for like a minimal makeup look. But yeah, so you can really build this up or you can apply it very sheerly as I have on now. And I just think it's so good. And yeah, I'm gonna be using this puppy a lot. So I realize I went out of order. I didn't talk about my complexion product. I just went into blush and contour and eyebrows. So after I apply my Auric and my Embryolisse products mixed together as my glowy kind of primer moment, I use a sponge and I take the Kat Von D Good Apple. This isn't an old product whatsoever. Like this isn't even like 5 months old in my collection. But it's a really highly pigmented product, and I've just been kind of like dibbly dabbling in other things, you know, like using my Westman Atelier stick foundation a lot. I've been using my Givenchy concealer a lot as my base product, and I just felt like I was not ignoring this, or forgetting about it, but more so just being like, oh, like, I'll use that another day, because it is so full coverage, and so you have to like kind of figure out how it works best for you. It has kind of this satin matte finish, so I feel like when it lays on top of such a hydrating, glowy base, like I applied before to prime, I feel like it just looks immaculate. And I think this color is immaculate for me in the wintertime. This is Light 008, which is for fair to light skin tones that have olive undertones. And so, yeah, I think this is an amazing skin match for me. And what's really awesome about it is that since it is a really highly pigmented product, using a sponge and putting it all over the face acts like a medium coverage foundation. Since it is such a highly pigmented product, you can use it as a concealer. So I carve out my eyebrows with this. I covered a spot that I had on my cheek here because, you know, I haven't been washing my brushes all that much, and I knew it was gonna happen, but I've just been so tired. I'm a sleepy girl. I knew something was gonna happen, so I have this, like, it's not like the worst breakout I've ever had from dirty brushes, but it's definitely there, and I don't want more, so I'm gonna clean my brushes today. I spot concealed with it, and, you know, it's not like fully covered or anything. It didn't pick up when I applied my contour or my blush, so it's just a really good, like, 2-for-1 sort of thing. Like, it's both a concealer and a foundation in one, which, I mean, there's no real difference between concealer and foundation if you think about it. One's just like more pigmented usually. But anyways, yeah. So I just want to make a dent in this and just like get some use out of it before I get too tan. And yep, been loving that. Been really liking my skin. Thank you. So for lips, I've been really dedicating my time to this ever so slowly shrinking NYX lip pencil. I have this in the shade Nude Beige, and tragically, I have learned that they have discontinued the shade. Now, if you look in the drugstore, on Ulta, or on NYX. Nude Beige is still around, but to everybody's horror, it's a different shade. Like, it's not the same shade at all. Like, brands just do this. Like, they just switch up the shade that everybody loves. Nobody understands why, because Nude Beige is kind of like a favorite. And it's definitely one of my favorites. It's like this perfect, not too gray, but also like contour-y-esque. I have it on my lips today. And it's just great. It's great for when you want a little bit of something something. And yeah, it's just like a really great color. And so I just really want to, you know, spend time with it, love it up, use it up. And I think I'm going to pick up the Nude Beige, new reformulated, I guess, new color Nude Beige, and compare them before I run out of this. So if you are a Nude Beige lover, you can decide whether you want to pick up the new one. And I don't mind spending my own money to show you all, because I think they're only like $5. And this is my favorite lip pencil formula. I don't think that you have to get like a $20, $30 luxury lip liner ever. I think that the drugstore makes perfectly adequate, if not just as good or better formulas. Because lip liners, they're a thing. They're a thing. You know what I mean? Like, once you love one, you love one. And it's your ride or die. And this was one of mine. And I'm so sad that this color is no more. And this is the only one I'll ever own again. I'm actually just gonna put a little bit. See, it's just like so easy. It's kind of like my lip contour, but better. And it's just, it's so good. I've also been really diving into this Ilia Lip Wrap Reviving Balm. I love this. I love this. It's expensive. It's like 24 bucks. But I find it really nourishing. I think the scent and the taste is like really herbal and pleasant. I don't know how to describe. I don't know how to describe it at all, honestly. Like, it's just kind of, I think herbal is the best way. But yeah, I've been using this a lot. I've been using my other clear lip balms. What is it? The Summer Fridays lip balm. I've been using that a lot as well. And yeah, these two together, the old Nude Beige and the Ilia Lip Wrap, so good. It's just like a nice hydrating glossy lip that isn't goopy. And actually like makes your lips feel better when it wears off, you know, like it feels like you did something. So I've just been trying to use this up because it was expensive and it's not old or anything, but it's just like I have so many of this type of formula that like I feel like I need to like give some of them more love, if you will. So this is my intended makeup for the day. As you see, it's very minimal, very natural looking. But for the sake of the video, just because, you know, I'm home and this video idea just popped into my head, this is what I've also been using on my eyes when I take the time to do some eyeshadows. This is the Roen eyeshadow palette in the shade in the color story Mood Forever. And this is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes ever. I love this. I love the Roen cream formula. But I've found that I don't want to say that I don't reach for it as much as I used to, but I definitely know that it's aging. There's no like scent or anything, but it is like, you know, it's getting up there in age. And I just would hate for this to go off and then like not to have enjoyed it, you know? So my goal with this palette is to pan my favorite shade, which is Impressions. I'm guessing that's the name. But it's this really beautiful, very wet looking, gorgeous, gorgeous shade. It's basically the cream version of Space Cowboy. And I think that's why I love it, because it just reminds me of Space Cowboy so much. So I'm just gonna go like that in my crease here. So I'm just gonna apply that for you. And you can really build this up or have it really, really sheer. And this color story is really gorgeous if you're into like kind of not necessarily cool toned pinks, but kind of a neutral pink that's not going to pull really cranberry or too icy on you, you know? I just think that this color story is just, it's the best one out of all of them. Like, I really love the gold palette or the warm palette. The 52 degree one, I only use one shade in that palette. And I feel like once I hit pan on that, I'll use that one shade because it's basically the slightly cooler version of this shade. This one has a little bit more pink in it. But yeah, I feel like I just want to give this a little bit more attention and make sure I've gotten as much use out of it as I can, because it's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous everyday eyeshadow. And, you know, if you're not one to care about like creasing or anything like that, or like dislike a very emollient formula on your lids, like, I don't know, I'm not against just like looking in the mirror ever so often and just like tapping out the crease or whatever. And I think when they do crease, they look pretty cool. And in just my opinion, that's just my opinion. But yeah. And so you can like layer these to get a really like foiled, glossy, wet looking, intense look. My favorite two shades are obviously the one that I'm using right now and then this more pinky one. But for today, I'm just gonna take my favorite to just demonstrate my current like go-to every day. And when I say that, I mean like the past like 4 or 5 days, like the past week. So this is what I've been doing. And I'm gonna try and dedicate more everyday looks by using this palette here. And and for mascara, this one is like on its last leg. I think I have like a few more uses left in this. This is the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. And this is just one of the many, many tubes that I have bought in the past like year and a half. I think that's how long this, oh god, my eye just got really dry. I think that's how long this product has been in our lives. But yeah, I've basically been buying these back to back to back since it launched. So yeah, love this mascara. It does have a pretty, oh god, my contacts are so dry right now. It does have a pretty short shelf life, and yeah, mine is like on the brink of like, not necessarily being expired, but just like being completely empty, because it's not like going on in the same way, but it doesn't really have a different smell or anything like that. It's just like, there's just not as much in the tube, it feels like. And it's not performing poorly, it's just a little bit drier than it used to be. Yeah, I'm just gonna use this up and just move on to the next thing, because, you know, mascara is one of those things that's like an actively rotating product in everybody's collection, or at least it should be. You know, like, don't be using the same mascara for 6 months is what I'm saying. So I usually give mine, like, if it's not smelly and it's performing the same, like I usually give mine like a 4-month window before I consider tossing it if I haven't used it up. Because you don't want to like get an eye infection or anything like that. So those are the eyes done, and yeah, I think my next one that I'm gonna really try and use up is the Finding Ferdinand. What is that? What is it called? What is it called? Lash lift? Yeah, the Finding Ferdinand lash lift. This is my next like use it up before it goes bad. It's not my favorite, but I like it enough to use it up sort of thing. Okay, so that is it. That's my like current like older products that I want to give a little more attention to and use up or make a dent in. And yeah, so let me know what makeup products this year you want to try and use up and or have been eyeing, because I've just been kind of bored with a lot of makeup launches and whatnot. So like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!